So, next, got another great tradition, another phenomenal story coming in to join me. I want to bring in Michael Manni, if you could come join me from Lasalle. Molly's got goodies. Wow, lots of goodies. Look at this. Whoa. Yeah, I'm going to be my glory over here.
Okay.
Michael, Merry Christmas. Thank you for coming
Merry
in.
Christmas.
Really appreciate it. So, Michael and I had a chance to talk on the phone the other day, and I'm talking about active participants. I have to say that I'm actually an active participant in stopping into Lasalle because since I used to live in the neighborhood over there and go on a regular basis. But you've got the true story, and your son has kind of carried on the traditions, and we'll touch upon that. But before we get into all your wonderful products, all the great things you got, do you mind sharing a little bit about your background and your history of how you got into Lasalle?
Sure. I grew up in the neighborhood behind Lasalle Bakery, actually 2 houses behind. So as a young man, as a young little boy, I went in there holding my mother's hand, probably 2, 3 years old, getting cookies and whatnot. It was the neighborhood bakery. Fast forward to when I was 15 years old, the owner's son, who was a friend of mine, approached me to if I was interested in becoming a pan boy, helping his father at the bakery. A pan boy was a term, someone who would clean pans. I took the job at the age of 15 and been there ever since.
That's amazing, though.
But I, went to school, went to college for a degree in art education, got out of college, there were no teaching jobs. I ended up still working at the bakery. I was 25 years old, it was 1975, and the man that I had been working for all those years approached me to purchase the business from him. It turns out to be the best decision I ever made with my wife at the time. And here we are. Now my son is running the business, and
Now, the gentleman that you were able to get the business from was someone that you really looked up to. Someone
I
that,
did.
mean,
He was like a second father to me. He was a wonderful man. His name was Gennaro Jake Di Maria. He taught me the baking business.
and he even stayed on with you,
He
right?
stayed on and worked. I worked for him for 10 years. Then he worked for me for 10 years. It was
That's
a fabulous
amazing.
relationship.
And these are the stories. So like I had heard bits and pieces of these stories over the years and going in there, and what's funny is that when I was living over there, a good friend of mine turned me on to Lascelles Sherry, who actually used to buy red velvet cakes from me because it's a passion of mine to eat red velvet cake, and she used to buy it. And she and others had told me parts of these different stories about how your family got involved, and and your son coming in and that kind of thing. But to know that gentleman was someone that was there for you for 10 years, and then like you said, after you purchased the business from him, he was still there for you.
He was.
It's one of those Rhode Island stories that
I feel very fortunate to be able to tell that story because it was a great part of my life.
Well, congratulations to you and to your son Michael and to the family for everything you've done. And Lasalle has now grown over the years. You have 2 locations, right?
Yes, we do. Yes.
So the first one is right over.
The original is on 993 Smith Street. It's across the street from Lasalle Academy.
Yep.
In between Lasalle Academy and Robert F. Kennedy Elementary School. That location has been there since 1933. The second location is at 648 Admiral Street, the corner of Admiral and River in Providence, actually only a quarter of a mile away from the original location. It was formerly Guadagna's Bakery many years ago. Some of the older people might remember that.
There's more than enough to cheers to Michael.
Thank you.
So Merry Christmas and congratulations on all
Merry
your success and the
Christmas.
things that you've accomplished. Now we got to get into the sweet stuff.
Okay.
Which is plenty to talk about. So, kind of give us an overview of Lascelles operations, because both of them operate very similar to what the hours, what they serve, everything. Correct?
They do. They do.
So, kind of give us a quick overview of what someone can expect if they walked into Lascelles.
You should be able to get all of the products that we make in both stores. Not all the time, because sometimes we might sell out of something earlier.
Supply and demand.
Exactly.
Right.
But the original purpose that we got the second location was we were busting at the seams. We needed more production space, more sales space, and the building was available. And we thought originally of just producing there and not opening a second store.
Okay.
And then when we got going with the plans, we said, well, maybe we should open a second store because there was always a bakery in this neighborhood and we could make it more convenient for our customers. And it was somewhat of a gamble, but it turned out to be a good thing because both stores are doing very well and we're very happy.
You might need a third store. Your son might have to be opening a third store down the line. So the products that are carried today in both places, and you've got a lot of traditional products.
We do.
Of traditional products. It seems like it's stayed there since your mentor, all the way through you and now your son, to be there. So let's talk about some of what you brought today, and then we'll talk about even stuff that you can look forward to in the new year. So
Okay.
this right here, what do we got? 'Cause
This is a traditional Italian cookie tray made at Lasalle Bakery. There's probably 20 different kinds of cookies
gotta
in
be. It
there.
looks amazing.
We make them in 2-pound, 3-pound, 4-pound, 5-pound, up to up to 10-pound varieties. You can walk into the store and buy these from now until Christmas as long as they last.
As long as they
People
last,
do
you gotta
order
hear that.
them, and I think I should know the cutoff day on the orders, but it's probably Friday or Saturday.
So Christmas Eve, the store is still open, right?
Christmas Eve, we're open till, I think, 4 or 5 p.m.
Okay.
Christmas Day, we're closed. The day after, the 26th, we are closed.
Okay, so that's an important thing to know. So if you're planning celebrations still after Christmas, which I know a lot of people have hit me up and told me that they are, please remember you got to give these guys a break. The 25th and the 26th that they're closed. So you got to go back on, what is it? The Wednesday. Wednesday to go back so that you
27th
can get
will
more
be
stuff
open.
to celebrate for New Year's. So we got the Italian Christmas one. What do we got back here? Because
This is a traditional Panettone, Italian fruit bread. It's a nice light, airy
Yeah.
bread made with artisanal pre-ferment, biga, an Italian pre-ferment that we make. It takes 36 hours to make this bread. It's
Wow.
long, natural fermentation. Has a very pleasant, sweet aroma. It has raisins and golden dark raisins and diced fruit pieces.
I have so many people that love this.
Yeah, it's good. It's a nice item. It's not the supermarket variety that was made 6 months ago.
Right. Then
This
what we got
is
back there?
German stolen. Again, all European countries have a fruit bread that's traditional at Christmas. The English have the fruit cake,
Yep.
which we do have. I didn't bring one, but we do make that. The Germans, it's stolen bread, and the stolen bread is light and dark raisins
Okay.
and diced fruit with an almond filling, slight almond filling. It's coated in sugar, very tasty. Lasts for weeks. In Germany, they make this and they'll eat it for months.
For months?
Yeah.
So
I
look
mean,
at
you
this,
can. What I mean by that is it has a long keeping quality.
Right.
It doesn't need
And
to
talk
be
about being coated in
refrigerated.
sugar. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's sweet. It's good.
All right.
This is just a bag of Icebox cookies. They're typically, I think the origin of them is Scandinavian, but they're colorful and pretty, makes a nice little gift.
Yeah.
And we'll do these with different kinds of cookies, 1-pound packages,
Kind of looks
something
like
you
the
can
Italian
pick up
colors
for a
in here.
gift.
Look at that. Like the Italian colors on the cookie right there.
And this is one of our signature products, Italian Torrone. It's a nougat. It's again in every country in Europe. I've seen it in France and Spain, Italy, Belgium. They all make it's a nougat-based candy made with honey, sugar, and almonds. And in some variations, people put different kinds of nuts or fruits in it. We do ours with just almond. It's traditional at Christmas time, and you generally won't find it after Christmas. Again, this is another item that'll last months left
Wait, it says, yeah.
the way it is on a counter, covered.
So I got to compliment you on that with the almonds, because that was one of the reasons that I liked their one personally, is because I'm a big fan of nuts, but I have this weird thing that I can't eat all the nuts in one thing. So to know that this was just almonds, I've had this bought for me as a gift, and it was absolutely delicious. So
Thank you.
That was a great thing. Now the history is obviously there at Lasalle. The locations are fantastic. You've got all these great holiday products, but Lasalle stays crazy through the first quarter of the year because you've got all these people doing all these extra celebrations. You guys do everything.
We do try to capitalize on all the I mean, all traditional bakeries always try to capitalize on the holidays, and we've done that. But our business has evolved over the years where, 40 years ago when I started, my wife and I bought the business, we didn't sell coffee, we didn't sell sandwiches, or we didn't sell savory items like calzones and pizza. So all that has changed dramatically. Drinks and beverages and food has become a big part of our product line.
Okay.
And that's because the consumer has changed
Right.
over the years. And I think we've reacted to that.
So from the perspective of cakes and the rest of the baked goods and all this stuff like that, you're finding that in the first quarter, people are still celebrating their birthdays and their anniversaries and the weddings,
yeah,
and people should
yeah.
plan kind of ahead on these things.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, it seems like one of the feedback I've gotten from talking to people is that there's this big preparation when you get into Christmas and New Year's. Everybody's trying to think ahead, and then it's always, of course, the last minute things. But these other celebrations, it's no different. You should do the same thing to be able to go in. You know, one of the things I'm fond of doing is I like to go on the website, but then I even more so like to go in and taste a couple things before I make my final decision as what I'm going to be serving at my event or my party or something. So I think that Lascelles offers that as a great opportunity that's out there. But again, congratulations to you and your family. You guys have created an amazing products over there, and you've done an amazing job at the expansion. So I think Michael someday will, your son Michael, someday will probably get pushed for that third location.
Possibly.
So, but did I miss anything we didn't cover? Because I know you've been at this a long time, and
Well, I guess that's about it. I mean, January will come around and everyone's going to go on a diet. We do have we do have protein muffins, which are slightly lower calorie than our regular muffins, and we have a food line called the Lean Line of meals that are fully prepared, chicken with sweet potato and things of that nature.
really, it's called
Yeah.
the Lean Line.
It's
I like
an
that.
alternative, you know, trying to get people that want to eat healthy to step into the bakery.
So can they purchase that right in the bakery?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't. There we go. So we got some good news there. Now, that kind of stuff that's out there. Is this a product that's kind of evolving for you guys? As you said, you're
It is.
introducing? Okay.
It's evolving. Yeah, we are looking into it because consumers change, and as they do, you need to be changing along with them. I mean, we'll still always have this standard croissants and Danish pastries
Right.
and things. As long as they continue to sell, we'll continue to make them.
Well, people are going to eat them no matter what. But to know that there's also this diverse
An alternative.
Yeah, to be able to do that, and so it's called the Lean
Lean Line.
Line. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that we highlight that later on, and I'll put something on there because that's
But
fantastic.
then, you know, January, February, and we're into Zapla season, which for us is the second biggest holiday next to Christmas. It's a tremendous month for us, the month of March, because
St.
of
Joseph's.
Zapla's, yeah, for St. Joseph's Day.
Yeah, and I can't get enough of those either. I can eat those all year. Well, Michael, thank you for making the time to come in today. We really appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you and your family, and congratulations on all the great
Thank
things
you
you're
very
doing over
much.
there.
Pleasure to
It's
be
wonderful
here.
to have you here.
I'll take the wine.